All right, who wants more viewers on their videos? Who wants to have more impressions? Who wants to have better results? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today with one very specific thing that we can all improve on, and that is our YouTube thumbnails. In this video, we're actually going to scope the internet. We're going to look all throughout YouTube, and we're going to crowdsource some different topics so we can then understand, well, what is capturing our attention and what does YouTube seem to be ranking? And all this plays a role with, of course, where we're headed here in 2021. We want to have defined for us a strategy, a vision for what we can do to get more people to watch our videos. Now, why is that important? Obviously, because not just for us. It's not just so that we can make more AdSense revenue. It's not just so we can have more people come to our subscriber button and hit that button and the bell notification icon, which if you haven't done so already, now would be the time to do that. Thank you so much in advance. But so that we can better help people, right? There's a lot of things at play when it comes to success on YouTube, and thumbnails are one of the most important things. Before anybody sees any of your video, what do they see first? Your thumbnail, and of course, your title. Those two things alone can make the difference between a video that is successful and a video that flops. We don't want to flop. We want to mic drop. Now, anyway, sorry, but thanks for coming in. This is day 240, something crazy here on the income stream. I can't believe how long we've been going straight daily on YouTube since March 2020, and I'm not stopping anytime soon. And every day we come in and tackle a topic deep here for you, except on Fridays when we do giveaways and prizes and have some fun and play some games and stuff. But today we're going deep with YouTube thumbnails. Thanks again, and welcome to the income stream. Let's go.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream.
I'll have my separate camera with me for the second camera. I forgot I set it up yesterday on Twitch yesterday. My kids and I, we did a Pokemon box opening, and we had some epic pulls. We had never done that before, and I used my other cameras to have like a top-down screen to view the cards and stuff. Anyway, it's super fun. I love doing business and related things like that with the kids. But for today, we're talking about YouTube thumbnails, and we're going to be diving into this together, right? Now, there's obviously a line when it comes to thumbnails, right? There are things that will get clicked more than not. However, if those things that are on the thumbnail and the things that are promised in the title aren't followed through in the video, then chat, tell me what's going to happen. What happens when you click on a video because it seems promising, there's a really interesting thumbnail, there's a really good title that promises something, and then of course it just falls flat? Well, people aren't going to be happy. But the cream does rise to the top, because YouTube can understand if a person comes to a video and they don't get what was promised. They will then therefore not share that video with as many people as possible. So before we dive into YouTube and actually explore YouTube together and start calling out which thumbnails we like and why, and try to start dissecting these things, and then we're going to go into some tools to help you make thumbnail creation a little bit easier based on what we find. And again, I have no idea where this is going to go. So this could, I don't know where we're going to end up, but I know we're going to end up with at least some knowledge of some kind, because whenever you do something, you either get the result you wanted or the lesson that you needed. And that's what this is all about, right? There is no failure unless we stop, but we're going to keep going here together. But like I said, we're going to dive in, see what works. But truthfully, we have to have really good content in our videos, obviously, right? And our content should be supported with an amazing thumbnail and an amazing title too, right? Hashtag Team Replay if you happen to be watching and catching the replay. If you're here in the live chat, welcome everybody. We got Ryan, Mai, Carrie, Elton, Peasant Uprising, Stephanie, Save Like a Bear, Bernard. We got Charles in the house. Who else do we got? We got Dawn. We got Grandma Goody. We got Travis. We got K-Walk. Bill, what's up? Loving it. Oops, not your broken promises. You deliver like crazy. Love it, man. Yeah, no, I'm not saying, I mean, I've probably made mistakes before too. But you have to have good videos that back up the thumbnail, and you have to have a good thumbnail that backs up the video, right? These all play in concert. But again, imagine a person searching for a term on YouTube. What do they have to work with? A thumbnail and a title. But when a person clicks, and this is the last time I'm going to say this, we have to have a really good hook. Something in the beginning of that video to connect the thumbnail and the title to the messaging in the video. And then, of course, if you can nail the hook, we've had entire conversations about hooks before, right? Telling people what they're going to get, creating open loops. There's certain kinds of content that almost lend itself to keeping people watching, like Mr. Beast's contest. What's going to happen? Who's going to win this money? The giveaway, etc. This is why a lot of Pokemon opening related videos work really well, because who knows what's in that pack? It could be the chase card that everybody wants, right? How do we create our own version of a chase card to help people go, ooh, I have to stick around to the end, right? That's very important. But let's go back and let's talk about what we're going to do today. I want to crowdsource some keywords from all of you, and I want to have a just fun little treasure hunt here on YouTube. We're going to go into YouTube together, and we're going to explore, and we're going to have some fun discussions about the thumbnails that we see, why perhaps YouTube seems to be ranking these things really high, which ones maybe don't work so well. We can also look at some of the newer videos. Did you know that when you pop in a search term into YouTube, you can actually filter on the latest videos that were published, which is often not very much looked at. And we can kind of see and explore and also dissect ones that maybe aren't working so well. So chat, if you're ready for this, let me know. I'm stoked. We're gonna have some fun today and we're gonna explore together, right? So let's, Bill says, I have a hard time fitting all 300 words on a thumbnail, right? Winky face. Words on a thumbnail can work, but they also can work against you. We also don't want to use the same words on the thumbnail as in the title. That's a waste of real estate, right? You can use different words or other things. And again, we're going to find these things together. So I'm going to crowdsource. Chat, tell me what topic or what keyword we should look up. It doesn't matter what this keyword's going to be. I just want to have some fun and crowdsource it with you. And it could be inspired by anything. So where do you want to start? Let me know in the chat. And I'm going to go into YouTube. We're going to do a share screen. And we'll even just look at my screen right now. You can kind of see the things that I'm into. If you want to get to know a person really well, look at their YouTube homepage, because you'll be able to see the kind of things that they were into. Thankfully, this is all family-friendly stuff, because I look at family-friendly stuff. S&P 500, Tesla to the moon, right? Now, the cool thing about Solving the Money Problem, this is Stephen Mark Ryan, who I follow from Solving the Money Problem. All his thumbnails are basically the same, right? So the cool thing is he has this sort of language in his thumbnails, this blue here that we're seeing. I'm going to pop up down below here for you so you can see. A blue tint on all of his thumbnails. Let's actually go to his channel. Let's go to Solving the Money Problem. And see, even in his artwork, let's go to videos. All his videos have the same sort of thing. Either a person's face, and then, look, Nikola doomed, Ford and GM are coming, worst investments ever. And you can see how, generally speaking, the words are not the same as what's on the title, but they kind of work in concert together, right? Tesla joining the S&P 500. This was 2 weeks ago, and guess what he called it? And Tesla to 550, Hummer EV, and then can't touch this. This is why no one can catch Tesla, etc. So these all remain the same. And why is it important to have them all sort of designed similarly? You don't have to do this, but it was really smart of Stephen Mark Ryan to do this, because now when you see a related video of his, or when you just see this pop up in your browse or homepage, you kind of know who created this video based on just the thumbnail alone. And when you can obviously continue to provide a lot of value, people get to know the style of the thumbnail, and then boom, they get more likely to click through because they're like, wow, another video, I have to drop it and go from there. What's up, Manos? Good to see you. Carlos says keyword taco. Okay, let's try that. Tacos. All right, let's look at these thumbnails here and look at this. The one that captures my attention is this one in the middle here. 4 levels of tacos, amateur, food to scientist, right? Amateur, home cook, expert, with like different versions of them, right? And of course, when you hover your mouse over the video, or this happens on mobile as well, when you start to focus on one, it starts to play. But I'm going to come out of here and I'm going to close this graph because we don't need to see that right now. And just look at these thumbnails, right? First of all, this top one, 53 million views. This is a music video, right? And for music and entertainment, you want to be a little bit eye-catching. This person has burgers and tacos all over their body for some reason, and I'm not sure why, but that's what we're seeing there. And that's kind of obviously eye-catching. And a lot of time, in fact, is focused on the creation of these thumbnails. I mean, somebody had to edit this, right? These sausages, I would imagine, are not actually hanging off of this person's ear. And there's a burrito, there's a microphone. That's pretty clever. And there's even a flour tortilla in the background. But many people who I know who do really well on YouTube sometimes spend more time on their YouTube thumbnail than the actual creation of their content. Why would they do that? Because they know how important these YouTube thumbnails are. In fact, I saw Mr. Beast speak live on stage at Vid Summit in LA last year, And he couldn't stop talking about how important the thumbnail was. And he even tests thumbnails immediately after his videos come out, just to see which ones happen to get a better response than others. If you happen to be posting consistently on YouTube, you'll know that when your video comes out, within about a few hours, you'll see a ranking of how it compares within those first few hours to other videos. If you see your videos not performing so well, you can obviously change the title, but changing the thumbnail can work too, to kind of give it a bump. You might as well, because it's obviously not working if people aren't clicking on it and finding it, right? So let's keep going here. This is a very simple one. Big, bold text, amateur, home cook, expert. This tells a story, right? This thumbnail kind of tells a story. And it makes you go, wow, what's the difference between these? I need to click to find out, right? What's up, Sarah, Mahal, Manos, Michael, good to see you. Explanatory Live. Is this a new time for the show? It kind of changes between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. Pacific, and I try to keep it consistent as possible, but because of school at home and other meetings that happen, it often changes, but I do have it either be usually 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. Pacific. Here is a nice close-up. If you're doing any sort of food, definitely some sort of close-up video of the food is going to be really important, right? If you are talking about a specific thing, so the keyword that we're looking up here is tacos. People are looking for tacos and they want to see tacos, right? Faces often work really well too. Very clear. You can see these are not just screenshots from the video. These are in fact doctored, photoshopped, canvassed, or whatever thumbnails that help people go, wow, I need to look at this. Right? Here's one that's really interesting. There's a couple faces on there, 22 million views, and this is a $47 taco versus $1 taco. And this is a series on BuzzFeed, which I've seen before, called Worth It. And look at that. Very clear close-up photo of the taco, right? A taco standing out, etc. All right? So, clear pictures, contrasty, that's another thing that you'll notice here in a lot of these photos. They're very contrasty, right? Like the blurred background, it is focused directly on the tacos, right? How do you pick when you're in your thumbnails? I'm not exactly sure what you mean, Consult the Blind Guy. Can you re-ask that question? Let's also go to another keyword, right? So let's do keyword dream, says CB's territory. So let's look up keyword dream. Just a random, now dream's likely gonna come up with, yep, I was gonna say the Minecraft guy who creates these really, really fun videos about Minecraft where his friends have to chase them and he has to beat Minecraft before his friends kill him, and it's really funny. But obviously you can see here, this is not, I know this is not an actual screenshot from the video. It's Minecraft because it's Minecraft. People sort of know the sort of pixelated Minecraft look, but you can see that he's down below in his little hole and then his friends are above him looking down. I know because I've watched this video, this is not an actual screenshot. They did this together so that it would be as if they were right there with him. This is a story within this thumbnail. Look at this guy down below. Look at his friends up there. They're trying to kill him. He's trapped. What's going to happen? Minecraft speedrunner versus 4 hunters, right? And an image without even any words there. All right, let's scroll down a little bit more. So again, same thing, arrow. Dream is just kind of Dream is a super popular YouTuber. He's become very popular this year, and he kind of knows what works for his audience for sure. And you have to know what works for your audience too. But let's try dreaming just to kind of do something a little bit different. So this is a music video, another music video, music video, music video. I'm gonna do minus video so I can just not see music videos. Lucid dreaming and glitches, stories from a parallel universe. So I went to another universe. This is a curiosity-driven thumbnail here too, right? I'm gonna take my video off there so you can see it, right? So this text is an example of something that doesn't match it's not the exact same text as the title, but it works together, right? I went to another universe, lucid dreaming. I wanna know about this person's dream. I wanna know what happened. And there's this image that makes you go, wow, what is this about, right? So I need to click on that. Let's try here, lucid dreams. Lucid dreaming, a person sitting on a hill with a boat. That would capture my attention, right? I think one thing that we could do is maybe look at filter, Let's update it in the last hour and see what do we think about these, right? Don't ever stop dreaming. See how this one is like, okay, there's some random text down here and it's kind of pixelated in the background to a point where it's not necessarily crisp, and there's something happening here. There's a lot of overlap. There's what is this, an astronaut on strings or something behind here. Nice use of a big bold font, but this is the exact same font or same words that is on the title. So it's kind of a waste of space, right? I want to perhaps have something that allows me to go, well, what's going on there? I need to know more versus I don't even know what this is about. I'm out, right? Here's a blurred up version of something. See, a lot of these are just not going to do well. I'm on vacation. So a bunch of dogs. This is a better thumbnail. I'm on vacation in quotes where George was during the Eimenberg finale. So this is likely something related to whatever niche this person is into, a story that they might be telling. So that's fine. I mean, this one, he's in a house that he likely built with some dogs. Okay. Vlog. So a lot of vlogs, right? Vlogging is all about location, but it's also about what's happening at this location. So this image here, we're seeing a nice image, but the thing is, like, this could be an image taken anywhere, and it could be taken from a Google image thing. This is not necessarily unique. It's a nice image looking down of Lac du Salagu Tor Georges du Tarn, but it's like, okay, well, what's the story here? It's just an image. We need to tell a story to have people click through. Like, what about this? Maybe an arrow pointing to the I can't scroll over this because it's gonna preview it, right? But maybe an arrow pointing to that window up there in the upper corner and saying, like, that's my room, right? Wow, now I want to see the vision of what it's like from that room, or how did you land that room? How did you get that, right? Okay, got it. Okay, dreaming about tacos. What extension is that showing numbers on or below the video thumbnails? Oh, so this is vidIQ. So vidIQ is telling me how many likes. If I scroll over this, you'll see likes, comments, dislikes, and again, we're looking at brand new videos that just came out. Let's look up another. Let's look up makeup by for makeup by Antonico. Makeup. Let's do makeup tutorial. That's a very popular one, right? And this is keywords everywhere that is driving these numbers here. 110,000 monthly viewers here. Let's click to see what thumbnails pop up. Now, obviously, makeup, we want to see faces. We want to see transformation. We want to see product, and that's exactly what we're seeing here, right? So look at this transformation from this to this. It's like, wow, how did we go from there to there? We want to see that, right? How do we go from there to there? How do we go from there to there? How do we go from there to there? How do we go? Oh, so we got James and all these other giant YouTubers. They're sort of anomalies, right? They can kind of do whatever they want, but they also are doing a great job because they know what works and what doesn't, right? So this image from James, very bright, contrasty, obviously photoshopped probably to just make him look even more perfect. And then, of course, here, scissors, right? Unedited makeup tutorial, meaning we're not cutting any part of this video. So that's kind of a unique situation, right? So we can see how this thumbnail completely supports the title, unedited makeup tutorial. No cutting, right? No cutting in the video. And of course, what's he reacting to? There's some emotion there. Oh my gosh, this is going to be embarrassing. Or, oh my gosh, what just happened? Or, oh my gosh, I don't want you to see this, right? I guarantee you, James took like 50 photos and picked the best one to support this video, right? Let's do this one. So kind of like something that captures your eye, right? There's war paint on this girl's face, obviously foundation, and then boom, look at how beautiful they look on the right-hand side. So always left to right here in this case, right? So this one, Daisy, another giant YouTuber, 3 of the same image. Look at how that stands out, right? Soft glam tutorial, but they're all essentially the same image. But look, everybody else is doing 2. And when you scroll down, wow, that pops out. That's disgusting, by the way. But that's capturing people's attention. Sorry to share that. Let's see here, the sideways videos. You know, the makeup community on YouTube is far and beyond some of the smartest YouTubers in terms of like how to capture people's attention, right? Top viral makeup videos on Instagram. Let's pick the most incredibly crazy, curiosity-driven looking images and pop them next to each other, right? So look at this one with brown and cream that just look like, I don't know, a soccer ball. And now a close-up shot of whatever this is. I don't know, but I want to find out to click, right? So again, super close-up image of best makeup transformations that makes you go, wow, Crayola? Really? I can just use Crayola lip smackers and I get that? Interesting. This person doing a little Photoshop work on, well, actually, that's probably not Photoshop work. That's probably actually makeup doing that job. Wow. Incredible. Bill says, actually, I think the preview and knowing the preview is the next phase of knowing your thumbnails. I find that Mr. Beast vids like seeing 6 thumbnails when you fly over one of his thumbs. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't choose. I think it's based on a specific moment of the video, the random videos that pop up when you scroll over the videos, right? But it does make you go, wow, this person turned into this person. This person turned into this person. That's pretty crazy, right? So it is important, and I think they show up, and obviously this is why beginning moments of your video are really key to show the different things that are there. But yes, that's important. When taking photos, can we use our smartphones, or do we use a DSLR for the thumbnails, says Carlos? You know, smartphones are getting better and better. So I think that we could potentially take some really nice photos with our phone, right? So if I were to create, I'm just making this up, right? If I wanted to take, let's see if I can do this in real time. I have a box cutter here, a box cutter that I use for opening letters and boxes and stuff. And I can just come up with maybe a fun little tutorial video. I'm just gonna see if I can take a good image with my phone that would tell a story using a box and a box cutter, right? So box cutter here, and I'm just gonna see if I can take an image. Now, the more that the subject matter of the video can stand out, the better. This is why you see a lot of those videos with outlines around the thing, right? Which can happen. But if you have a good camera, like an iPhone or a Samsung, and they have that bokeh effect, that blurred effect that makes the background really, really blurry, and the subject matter stands out, then that alone will capture people's attention. Remember, people are scrolling through. You want a thumb stopper video. And the more clear an image can be, the more likely it is a person is going to stop, if that makes sense. So let's see if I can take a photo here. I use portrait mode for a lot of my thumbnails on my phone, just simply because it builds in that bokeh effect, that background effect, right? But I want to take a, like, let's say I took a screenshot of something like, let's see if I can do this here. Now, this is a little bit more difficult. I might need some light to help me. So I'm going to pop a light in here. My trusty little lightsaber mic. So just because you have the iPhone 7 Plus it's not bad, right? It's not bad. But what I'm trying to do is get that background effect that makes you go like, wow, how do they do that, right? So this is super weird that I'm doing this right here live, but I'm just trying to get a nice little, like, okay. So I took a photo. I'm going to upload it to the computer, and let's just like play around with it a little bit. This is funny. This was not planned. Let's see if I can do this here. So in Photoshop, what I often do is I open up a 1920 by 1080, a 1920 by 1080 custom-sized image. You'll actually see the image from yesterday. How to make a YouTube thumbnail. How to make YouTube thumbnails, right? But this is the one that we're working with. I'm going to take that that photo that we just uploaded. I'm going to pop that here. It's going to take a second. So now I can zoom in on this. I often like do what I can to try and sort of move things around to a point where it can kind of be framed well. And I like having, if I'm going to have specifically text on here, I like to have sort of like one part of it. Now I'm looking at this, and this is not gonna work very well, because I want this part here to be, if this is in fact about cutting open a box, right? Again, I'm just kind of messing around here with you. I want the thing that's doing the cutting, the action of the description of the video, I want that to be in focus. Right now, obviously just the box is in focus. So this probably wouldn't work well, but still, one thing I like to do here is if I'm gonna add text, I always try to have it be contrasted. So if I add text, for example, like one trick for opening boxes, right? I might make that a little bit bigger. Now, obviously, it's white on white, so it's not going to look really great. So I do a couple things here. I'll go in here and turn on the drop shadow. And as you can see, that sort of opened it up a little bit. Or if I turn off the drop shadow, one thing that I often do is I add a layer on top of a gradient. And a gradient is just, of course, a gradient of color. So I'm gonna see if I can create a nice gradient here on the right-hand side. And then if you're in Photoshop or other tools, there's other tools out there that can do this for you for free. See this layer? It just added this like blend. And now I'm gonna go normal, multiply, and I'm gonna make sure the text is above that, right? So that made it a little bit darker. And now if I come back in here, I can make this a little, now again, this isn't a great photo because I want this to be the actual knife opening the box. Like I want it to share like an action, right? I want it to pop, right? If that makes sense. I did rush the shot because I'm here live. So anyway, I would normally take 20 or 30 photos, right? To try and get the right image. This is where a nice little DSLR camera can come in handy, where you have a little bit more control over the focus and you can get that really nice effect. And this is the kind of work it's gonna take. Now, there's obviously only so much time in the day. So if you're just starting out, don't feel like you have to spend hours and hours on it, but just even a little bit of effort will exponentially go a very, very long way, right? And even if you use tools like Canva to just move things around and get some existing background images that you might be able to pop in there, or even just take photos with your camera to pop in and import in there, you can add text and you can export them, and they're just gonna be so much better than what YouTube gives you with just right out of the gate. So that's sort of lesson number one. I just wanted to show you exactly kind of the approach that I take, but I want to dive into YouTube as well, again, so we can kind of just come in and sort of understand more about what's happening in different niches, if that makes sense. You always blow my mind, very polished. So I was coming into, thank you, Bill. I was coming into Photoshop just to kind of share that, and we kind of created an image. And again, the action, the most important action in this image that shows like something happening, this isn't going to work in this image because it's blurred, right? I want that to be the thing that's focused on. Right now, it's just the top of this box that's focused, right? I mean, I can even, if I come in here, let's hide this. If I were to like, right? And again, I can play around with these. And again, there comes a point sometime where eventually I have to like stop, right? Because you could continue to work on this forever. One trick for opening boxes, I might do like let's add one more layer in there. And I just might be like, you know, this often works. This often works. Sometimes I might want to thicken this up and just go maybe like, I don't have my pen on me. All right, I'm getting a little out of hand here. And one thing that you want to do is make sure you zoom out so you can see what it looks like even at a small scale. Because eventually things start to go away, right? Things start to go away, and you still want to make sure that the most important things are seen, right? So if possible, I would probably even, if this were in fact zoomed in properly, I mean, I would increase this maybe. Let's see if I can just play around this a little bit more. And I'm losing I think it's not liking the fact that I'm, right? Again, it's not in focus, unfortunately, but you can see how this tells a story. Now it's like, what's in the box and what's this trick about, right? Probably don't need that. And again, that can help, but it's not in focus, unfortunately. Anyway, Hope that helps just really quickly. Isn't the text going to get covered up by the timestamp? The timestamp will show up on the lower right-hand corner. So if you were to add the text sort of here, then it would be covered up for sure. Now, obviously, see, you can see the timestamp here. On desktop, it's not as big of a deal. Now let's see what it looks like on our phone, because on our phone is where likely a lot of people are going to see this too. And yes, it's basically the same thing. The timestamp is in the lower right-hand corner, lower right-hand corner. So the, yeah, that's going to work. My clustered garage says, are 1920 by 1880, or are 1920 by 1080 images really better than 1280 by 720? It's higher resolution, and I just go because it allows me for more detail when I'm editing. And I'm not exactly sure what that's the right proportion, but I like to go one step higher just to make it a little bit better and cleaner. And when I upload it to YouTube, I'm not sure if they keep it at 1920 or 1280, but I've just naturally been going 1920, 1080 for that size when editing. Any bigger than that, I think it doesn't. I think it uploads at 1080. I'm not sure, but yes. All about creating intrigue, a sense of mystery and mystique. Yeah, so let's go into some other chat. Let me know in the chat again. Just help me determine what we can look up together so we can just kind of explore some of these things and start talking about them out loud. We're having some fun here diving into thumbnails from different people and seeing what stands out and why. One thing that you can do that's actually worked really well for us is we've gone into the past in our archive and we've updated those videos that aren't performing so well. And sometimes for some of those videos, not all of them, but sometimes we just simply do an update to the thumbnail to make it stand out, to tell a better story, to make it cleaner, and it completely changes the trajectory of that video. So don't think that this can only matter for new videos, because obviously you can change your thumbnails at any time, and you should. You should be continually updating and honing in on those thumbnails that get people to click on things more, right? So anything camera says video lighting. So what might we expect if we were to look up videos about video lighting? I want to see some before and after. I want to see something very clean. I want to see a product, right? If it's just a face going video lighting tutorial, unless it's a face that people are interested in clicking on, then it's not going to do a great job, right? So let's click on video lighting and see what we come up with. How to light your videos. Right when I say that, we see Justin's video. Now, I know Justin. Justin's great, and his audience knows him really well. He is a quote-unquote celebrity or an authority in the video space. So in that case, it's great to have him there, and that's totally fine, right? Right when I was just like, if it's just a face pointing to this, it's not going to work. Well, this obviously is working for him. How to light your videos, and he's a special case. Now, I do see some equipment here, right, in the background, and that's fine. It's obviously showing a lot of different kinds of equipment. But let's scroll down. And again, they're ranking these videos because they're getting impressions, they being YouTube. I like this before and after. Lighting your YouTube videos, make your videos stand out, right? I think the title could be a little bit better here, but I really love the thumbnail before, after, with a nice little line down the middle to make it clear. That one definitely stood out to me more than these other ones. This one's kind of interesting because a person's holding like a light. It almost looks like a lightsaber, and it's very clean. You can see the very nice, crisp image of this person's face. And in the background, there's not even any text here. So don't feel like you have to have text all the time. Here's Peter McKinnon, how to professionally light your videos. Best lighting kits for video. Justin, again, holding video equipment and showing video equipment. Cheap video lighting for YouTube that gives a professional ... This is a little truncated, so that could be improved. But pro look on a budget. You see how the text here, very similarly, it's like, I think that this thumbnail could be even improved if the lights were actually pointing toward where it says pro look on a budget. But I like it. It says something different than what's on the thumbnail, so that's not bad. White screen 10 hours. Why is that a white screen for 10 hours? I guess this is something to help people with their lighting in their videos for some reason. Here's another before and after 5-minute YouTube lighting tutorial for beginners. Very cool. Before, after, 1, 2, or 3, 3-point lighting setup from years ago. Another before, after, right? Yeah, Justin has really good videos. Justin from Primal Video. He likely has he's nailed the hook. Let's play his video just to kind of.
Is a critical element of any video, but fortunately, it's not hard to get the right video lighting techniques. In this video, we have a full video lighting tutorial to get your results fast.
Okay, I don't know if that came through for you, but I'm going to play that one more time. I think I heard it on my output from... Yeah, okay, let's play that one more time. His hooks are really good. They're just very clean, very clear, no fluff.
Lighting is a critical element of any video, but fortunately it's not hard to get great results with the right video lighting techniques. In this video, we have a full video lighting tutorial to get you results fast.
So that was a 10-second intro, right, which is pretty cool. Peasant Uprising is saying, what do you export as, Pat Flynn? I export as a JPEG because it's going to be a little bit less in terms of file size than a PNG. And you have to have it under 2 megabytes. And I found that a 1920 by 1080 JPEG file exported typically gets in around 1 to 1.5 megabytes, which allows me for the highest quality and still enabling it to be a YouTube thumbnail, because after 2 megabytes, it's not going to let you use it. So if it's any larger than 2 megabytes, the image is not going to work. So saving it as a JPEG is often what's working better, right? Cool. All right, I need to make a blue screen for a 10-hour video, says Alfredo. There you go. And interestingly enough, I bet if you were to do that, it would probably get some views, which is crazy. Francis says, any economical way to get good, clear photos for thumbnails before going to good camera? I'm using YouTube automatic thumbnail, and I need to upgrade. Yes, we do need to upgrade, but Francis, anything is better than the automatic screenshots for sure. And you might have some images that could be from a photo shoot that you've done, or even specifically some maybe even higher res videos that you have in your studio that you can just pull a screenshot from, you doing a yoga pose and then words on top, right? Let's do like best yoga poses, right? Best yoga poses, because Francis, I know you're in the yoga space. 15 yoga poses that'll change your body in less than a month, right? So this is a really, really cool thumbnail because it's definitely standing out. Look at the like red on the body. That's just like painted on using Photoshop. It's not even like perfect, but that's okay. It almost makes it look like muscles, right? And it's just it's not even centered properly, and that's okay. But it's definitely eye-catching, and it makes you wonder, okay, what are these other poses? Here's 15 yoga poses. Here are 2, right? Let's go down. 8 best yoga poses for men, right? And again, this doesn't have necessarily a blurred background, but it's a pose. This is what, the warrior pose? And he's just contrasted on the background, looking really nice. And there's the text on the right-hand side. 8 yoga poses for men. Yo, Shamem, business daggers. You know what's a dagger? Coming in here and spamming. I'm going to put you in timeout. Unfortunately, if you knew anything about business, you would know that spamming doesn't work. So I want you to come in here, learn from the community here. We're all here to support you. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you, though. And I put you in a little timeout. So, hey, high five, my friend. You're cool. You're cool. All good. 18 basic yoga poses. Let's see. Beginner yoga series. Another sort of double pose looking thing. How to build muscle. Right? Yoga postures to build muscle. And what is being featured here on this? The muscle, right? Can you use black and white photos, or do they have to be in color? You can use black and white, right? But I think that color pops, right? Color pops for sure. Now you can experiment and try things evolving with Etta, or excuse me, Carlos, but like imagine doing a taco and it's black and white. Unless it's like a sad story that you're telling about a taco, like my sad taco story, you like crying, eating a taco, and it's black and white. The black and white actually enhances that story that you're telling, right? But if it's like best taco recipe, black and white, then that doesn't really speak to the power of what this thing is, because a recipe needs to be savory. It needs to be something that gets a person's mouth to salivate. It gets something exciting to look at, right? And black and white is usually a connotation of something, you know, either older or sad, right? If that makes sense. Maybe a test 2080 versus your preferred. I think they resize it, but yeah, I'll try that. Oh my God, I do have some photos. I've been defaulting to my black and whites and not even using the color photos. Oh my God, I can picture it. Nice, Francis. We've helped at least one person. That's great. I don't want you all to lollygag on how important these thumbnails are. They are absolutely important. Let's look up some other ones. Let's look up, what would you imagine would show up if we were doing like best microphone under $75. I was looking for my thumbnail there. I thought I had one under 75. Is it under 100? Oh, numbered. Best microphone under $100. Right? So what are these thumbnails? So again, best microphone under $100. All this for $75 question mark, question mark, question mark. So very, like, not even super fancy. It's just on a blue screen, cropped out, probably just PNG files that this person, Sean, actually found online, and an arrow. All this for $75? Cool. Let's scroll down. Best vocal microphone. This person in the studio with a bunch of microphones on top. Best podcast mics under 100 with a whole bunch of microphones there from Buzzsprout 5 months ago. Wow, this one's doing really well. Very similar. I think this is the same person, Archie. Yep, Archie Beats. Best $100 microphones. This is Harris Heller holding it. Again, we're focused on that beautiful looking microphone. That's a Rode Pod mic. This one might do well because it stands out, right? Look how, I mean, I don't really like this thumbnail, but it does show connotation of, okay, Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube. But the white on white with white is like, I'm not even seeing the microphone. I think that could be improved. And there's a lot of wasted space here, in my opinion. Top 5. Look at this one. It looks like they're just glorious in this photo. You don't have to get crazy. Like, I know a lot of people, this is Linus Tech Tips, and this person's just got a cool personality. So that this is okay, but I think a lot of people try to force funky faces to try and capture people's attention. I think we need to just tell better stories with our thumbnails there. See, this is a kind of a cool shot of Harris in front of these mics. And then, of course, you can go simple like this, right? Nothing fancy, just a cropped out image of a person with a video thumbnail pointing at a mic. You're like, well, what is that microphone? I want to click on that. All right, let's try another one. Let's try tips for skateboarding. 9 helpful tips for new skateboarders. 9 tips for new skateboarders, for new skaters. So again, blurred background, a little bit cool. This person's sort of like in the air, mid kickflip. 10 beginner tips. This person looks like they're literally in the middle of giving a tip, right? Now, I guarantee you this image is not a screenshot from the video. If you look at the video, it's obviously a little bit different, and it's cool. He's doing some tricks. But he's like mid talking about something. He's holding this up in a really interesting way, sort of like hand over the sandpaper on the skateboard. It makes you go, well, what is that thing that he's talking about right there? He's in fact mid sort of word. Like, look at his mouth. But this is very clickable, right? If I'm a beginner, I want to see, like, I just want to jump into the middle of where this guy is talking about these tips, right? He's also got this nice little ramp up here on the right-hand side that literally points to beginner. Like, it's not an arrow, but it is kind of like a swooping effect that brings you up to 10 beginner tips. And again, it's not perfectly centered. He just fit it in where he can. He has some shadow effect behind the text so it stands out, and he's good to go there. 10 things beginners should know how to do. And again, a person just like on his back flopping in an interesting sort of comedic fashion. But hey, if I'm a beginner skateboarder, I don't want to flop. I don't want to fall. How to skateboard for beginners. And check out a person literally just doing what everybody knows how to do, skate. See, this is what I was talking about the outline. Sometimes if you have an image that you want to crop out, just putting an outline around it like that, you can use your pen tool in Photoshop or something like Canva, potentially to create just an outline. It kind of stands out a little bit more. Before, after, the classic before and after. Try a before and after thumbnail. We saw this in the makeup one. We saw this in a bunch of others. And this person, Brian Arnett, I don't know who Brian is, but let's just look at his channel.
First, before the video actually
151,000 subscribers. And this one definitely being a very popular video recently. This person, oh, jeez. What are some of the most popular videos in this person's channel? Most popular. Right? Look at that. Before, after. Before, after. Before, after. I skated at Walmart. I skated a Walmart board for a whole day. So this thumbnail directly speaking to the title. And I guess in the skating world, just skating on a Walmart board, like a cheapo board, is interesting. So there you go. All right, what else could we look at? What's up, Design with Theo? Good to see you. How to make good thumbnails for podcasts, right? So let's do like, let's see what, let's just do, let's see, podcast conversation. So let's see what we got here. 1.5 hour English conversation lesson. This is with somebody who's speaking and teaching English. And of course, they have the American flag there in the background. It looks like it was just photoshopped in. And it's just real English conversation. 3 hours of English topics. So this is pretty typical with a podcast, is to have some sort of thumbnail like this where you actually see the two people. I kind of like it mid-conversation. I think Thomas Frank's podcast does a good job of this. What is that podcast? The Inforium, right? So let's pause that. So his podcast, in fact, has thumbnails that aren't the two people speaking, but it's about the actual topic itself, right? And let's see which ones do really well. Deep work. So this one being a more illustrated version of deep work, working deep. Procrastination in a video game situation that people can really resonate with. Let's see what some of his most popular videos are. I'm going to go sort by most popular. What it takes to open a coffee shop. Deep work. 10 essential life skills. And of course, when I play this, it's just going to be a conversation.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Very Clearly.
So if this was the thumbnail and it said like top 10 life skills every student needs to have, it's not really telling me anything, right? The thumbnail doesn't necessarily sort of express what is there, versus something like is better, like what we're seeing here with Thomas, is something like this, which is more of a, it's like even this thumbnail, this one that I just honed in on, it's like Thomas looks like he's in the middle of telling somebody to quit or to stop quitting, to quit quitting, right? If that makes sense. Do they call these vlog podcasts because they also stream just the MP3 version to somewhere else? Typically, Bill, people will take the audio and pop it into an audio podcast as well. And these aren't vlogs. These are video podcasts. Vlogs are more of a style of, you're coming with me on travel. You are sort of in my room and you're learning about the things that I'm doing right now. And it's more like, hey, you're just sitting down, with me in my day, versus like a very more topic specific thing like this, in which case this is a recorded video where the audio is likely pulled out and put into an audio podcast as well. Thomas is great for sure. Thomas is great. How to do great thumbnails for motivational videos. Let's look up motivation. Great. Motivational speech, maybe? Now, I'm imagining inspiration. Work hard, work smart, be patient. I think this is a Will Smith. I can, I will, I must. I think that's Will Smith as well. So a lot of another Will Smith, which is really interesting. Dream big. There are no limits. So it looks like just somebody close up. This is Denzel Washington. Somebody super focused and somebody recognizable. This is Jim Carrey and his epic beard. Let's just try motivation. So motivational speeches, that's a very interesting style of video where it's like really hardcore inspirational music in the background, right? You can get that music at places like artlist.io, and then a voiceover, or often even a celebrity or somebody's speech sort of put over that with some crescendo in the music and some images that are usually just B-roll of people doing some like amazing things. And I'm not going to share that right now because then I'll get docked because I haven't used that music. But you can see Get Up and Grind, best motivational video. You can see this one also includes some like text over it too. All right. I think Charlie Prangley does a good job. Charlie Prangley. Charlie Marie. So she's got really good, clean thumbnails. that are pretty standard in many cases, and this is just how she does it, and she's doing really well with them. So her videos include a picture of her in a different setting related to the thing that she's doing. And of course, like this one here, I got a promotion. And this is, her style is very vlog, but also teaching, right? She's like taking you into her life, and she's talking about her life as a designer, and she's helping you learn design at the same time too, which is pretty cool, right? So using Procreate to design my YouTube thumbnails. Very meta here, right? So she uses an iPad app to do this, and you can see she's got a really interesting style, and Procreate being the topic of discussion here, she has that thumbnail with the Procreate logo there, and she also says designing thumbnails in Procreate, and again, she's telling a little story here. She is, in fact, on her iPad doing that. I got a promotion, yay, and this is her reaction, okay. Question and answer. Look at, she's got these different thumbnails, and she's looking down at her phone, and she's like addressing people's questions. Let's see. I would say that, you know, for Charlie, the one thing, and this is her style, so it's probably not something she's going to change, but the sort of cursive handwriting on a thumbnail is very difficult to read on a mobile device, I found. So I typically don't recommend that, but Charlie does a great job, and you can see all of her videos typically have this border around it, right? So when I'm watching one of Charlie's videos,
I'm a big fan of talking real now.
And I scroll down and I see the related videos, I can just see directly which ones are Charlie's. I don't even have to look, because not only is she in them in a very similar style, but you'll see the border around them too, right? We've talked about Brian Dean here every once in a while. Backlinko, he has, Brian Dean, very similar style, but in a more sort of rigid fashion. So face, different face, and basically the idea of the video right there in the thumbnail itself, and like a little chart going up, and maybe a little image to go along with it. And his videos are very clear and clean too, so that when I click on one of...
In this video, I'm gonna show you how to rank #1 in Google, step by step. In fact, you'll see the exact...
So he's like, in this video, this is what we're gonna do. I've done this before, here's some proof, let's get into it. And if I scroll down, okay, there's Brian there for sure. Let's scroll down more. Any more Brian videos? No, this is because this is based in my search history, including Pokemon. Cool. Anyway, chat, a lot of information to take in, obviously. One thing I would recommend you continue to do over time, and even when you're yourself looking at YouTube videos that you want to find, just pay attention and be conscious of the thumbnails and why certain ones want you to click than others, right? I think when we see which ones sort of draw our attention, it gets us to understand a little bit more about what we can do in our thumbnails too, to make it a little bit easier and more enticing for a person to click on these thumbnails. Because again, as a reminder, we only have the thumbnails and titles to work with. That's it. Yes, the video we create, which is where we spend most of our time, is important, but unless people click on the link and or the thumbnail, then that video content doesn't really matter. So we really need to pay attention to the thumbnail. You can continue to change and update your thumbnails over time. And again, pull inspiration from existing categories and videos that are out there to get a style that works for you. And for me, I still have work to do. I gotta say, I'm not a master at thumbnails, and there are people, in fact, that you could hire to help you with thumbnails, which is really crazy. But the most important thing is, can you, in some way, shape, or form, visually represent the ideas and the thought and the curiosity that a person might have wanting to click on that video, right? What is that video about? How does that thumbnail show a part, or perhaps sort of express a part of that video and make you go, wow, what happened there, right? I think Mr. Beast is a great example of somebody who just nails it every time. And I know he spends a lot of time, hours sometimes, on his videos, right? So this one was a very popular video. Anything you can fit in the circle, I'll pay for. There's a circle, there's the arrow, right? Let's see some of his later videos here. I Ubered people and let them keep the car. And now there's a picture of a Lamborghini with an arrow pointing to it, 100% free. Now I know, because I watched this video, that woman is not the actual person who actually won that video, or won that Lamborghini. Somebody else did. Let's see. Let's go to some of his videos. Some are easier and more clear than others. Let's see. Like, I ate the world's largest pizza. And of course, this is exaggerated. but it is a photoshopped version of what we see in this video, right? I bought a private island. Mr. Beast is crazy. But again, this wasn't an actual photo he took. It's photoshopped, right? Anyway. Oh, share screen. I apologize. My bad. So Mr. Beast, again, here's that thumbnail with the story, right? This Lamborghini, 100% free to somebody that I'm going to give away. I Ubered people and let them keep the car. Super interesting, right? I survived 24 hours straight in ice. I watched this video too. He never looked like he was that frozen. But again, this tells a story. He's in fact putting his hands over his shoulders like this, as if he's like almost dying in a coffin or something. Hour 17. There's a reason why he put hour 17 there, because you want to see what happens all the way through, right? I filled my brother's house with slime and bought him a ... I know that he bought him a new house because I watched this video too. But again, this is all photoshopped. This is the pizza that we were talking about. Again, he posed in this way, opened his mouth wide. How is he going to eat that pizza? We have to see what happens, right? All right, I adopted every dog in a dog shelter. So Mr. Beast is a little bit out there in terms of having a much larger audience, obviously, and a lot of his content being a little exaggerated, but he definitely follows through and makes it interesting all the way through too. So, anyway, chat, thank you so much for coming in today. I appreciate you, and I hope that this helps encourage you to continue to hone in on your thumbnails and what works for you. And remember to tell that story in that thumbnail to get people to visually see what might be going on so they click to see and find out what happens, right? Or to get very clearly the information they were looking for. But the more that you can get a person to stop and go, ooh, okay, and then of course backing up that promise in that thumbnail and title with really good content, because we don't want to click and bait and switch people. That never works. YouTube will find out based on how the comments come in, the thumbs downs, the people leaving right away. If you don't create good content, then none of this matters. So obviously have that. But you need a good thumbnail and a good title to represent that too. So, great stuff. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming in today. I did get the secret word in, which is great. And I have an AMA in SPI Pro I got to get to right now. So I appreciate you for coming in. Tomorrow we're starting, let's see. Wednesdays are always weird because we have... So you know what? Tomorrow, we're actually going to start a little bit later. We're going to start at 9:30 a.m. Pacific. So 9:30 a.m. Pacific. We're starting a little bit later. Instead of having before my meetings that happen Wednesday morning, we're going to go after. So 9:30 a.m. Pacific. If you're in the Slack channel with everybody, please pass that on. I'll pop in a comment in the community as well. Thanks to everybody who's here. I appreciate you. Hit that thumbs up button before you go. And as always, Team Flynn for the win. Peace out, y'all.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream. All while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
Thanks so much, everybody. You are amazing, and I look forward to seeing your numbers climb here as a result of what we learned today. And keep up the great work, and it's a great reminder for me to go back and check out some of my older thumbnails too. You can always improve. So take care, peace out, and I'll see you tomorrow 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Peace out, y'all.
Bruh.